っていただいたのは他でもありません。女王試験を行います。
え、マジかよ。
どうして？
皆静かに。恐れながら女王陛下のお力にいささかの陰りも見られぬ今、次の女王を選ぶとはよほどの事情があるものと存じますが。
それについては後ほど詳しくご説明できると思いますわ。その前に今回の女王試験に協力してくださる方々をご紹介いたします。
この度女王候補の指導役を仰せつかりましたビクトールと申します。
同じくセイラン、ティムカです。よろしくお願いいたします。
王立研究員を預かりますエルンストです。
メルです。占いとかします。よろしくお願いします。
では2人の女王候補を迎えましょう。ねえロザリア、ちょっと楽しみよね。宇宙が。陛下、それはまだ秘密ですわよ。きっと大丈夫よね。宇宙の意志が自分で選んだ子なんだもの。
Hello and welcome to yet another randomized gaming draw. Now you may wonder exactly what is going on here, why we have a game called in the English characters as they spell on the Japanese box, Angelique Special 2 or ANGEL Angel IQUE. Yes, unpronounceable. I think the Japanese are trying to spell Angela, but they often tend to get English characters wrong with their naming, which is why you often get English and just really badly spelled English character names in Japanese games. So, why am I playing this? Because, as you know, I'm Random Gamer Riven, and we've just done a randomized gaming draw. And this horror, this Koei game horror dating sim, is the unfortunate game that got picked. If you're wondering how we ended up with a copy of this, well, simple. This is what happens when you buy lots of good games in one go through the importer. Stuff like X-Men vs Street Fighter, games like Marvel, Superheroes, Metal Slug, Dragon Force, and you get this as a free gift. Now, you know this is the type of game given away as a free gift because no one in their right, sane mind wants to play it except Japanese girls. So yes, this is a dating sim. Now, as you see the two little girls walking along there, they are, all the guys to the left and right are all actually blokes, although some of them do look like girls when you see their artwork. And basically, this is the Angelique games. Now, ironically, both the main characters are actually the main character in the first and the second game are both called Angelique. So I'm the red-haired girl and she is Angelique. She's Angelique Colette. The queen who they're talking to is the protagonist from the first game, Angelique Limoges, as the best, or Limoges. I think they tried to spell Linda but just got it badly wrong. But yes, so here I am naming my character. You're supposed to call her Colette, but I think I just stuck with the default name here, which is Colette. And the advisor, ironically, is called Rosie to the side, or Rosalia. I was just checking that as I go. And she was the queen's rival in the first game. And your rival there is the blonde girl called Rachel. And basically your objective is to try and win over as many people as possible to become the new queen of the kingdom. Or I think a rival kingdom, because by all accounts, the queen in this game appears to have been the queen for about 6 or 7 months before they decide they need a new one. Now basically your idea is to charm the various guardians, or the gentlemen. Actually, that's the Japanese call them saints on in a few things, but obviously they wouldn't necessarily translate to saints over here in the English language. But basically your job is to charm them all so that they vote for you and you become queen at the end of a rigorous, what can only be described as dating sim process. So yes, this is made by Koei, famous for Dynasty Warriors and other great games, and all their like Dark Horizons and Romance of the Three Kingdoms strategy games. But instead of doing action strategy, this is a dating sim where you basically have to beat your rival and get more of their affection, so you can become the new queen. Yes, I know. Why am I playing this? Yes, they're the 9 guardians, blah blah. Each of the gentlemen, however, is actually a guardian of various things. One's light, one's dark, one's garden, etc. They also have some of the wackiest names, and I will go through them in a second once they appear now and start chatting to one another. So, this is Rosalia, the former rival who got beat in the last game. She's chatting away. Incidentally, there is no Angelique 2. There's only an Angelique Special. You know, I'm just going to call it Angelica. I think that's what's supposed to be Angelica. I think Angelique Special 2. So basically, there is no Angelica 2. There is only Angelica Special 2. And the reason is there's an Angelica and there's an Angelica Special, which was an enhanced version by all accounts. They appear to have just done a sequel to the enhanced version rather than do an Angelica 2, a normal version. Perhaps they can, the original one. Anyway, as I discovered, this series is actually quite long and goes all the way into the PS2 era, which is quite depressing having played it. But it's not dreadful, it's not completely woeful. I find it a pretty bad game, but there is some elements of quality here with this title. Certainly the artwork alone looks pretty stunning, even if it does look like it could have been handled on a Super Nintendo. So yes, there's a lovely boring cutscene. I think they're telling... I think the Colette in this one, as I gathered, and I'm basically going to call... From now on in, I'm going to call the redhead girl Colette, because that's her proper name. Basically, she's going to become the Queen of Beasts if you win the vote off with the Night Guardians. If not, however, you get to be with your true love. So it's a kind of win-win scenario either way. Although I do find the ages of some of the various characters in here slightly alarming. Anyway, here are the 9 guardians who appear to get rid of their queen pretty regularly. So the blonde-haired guy is the guardian of light. He is Julious. That red-haired one is Oscar, and he is the guardian of... He is the flame patron. The dark-haired one is the wonderfully named Clavis, and he is the Lord of Darkness. Now, yes, I know Clavis. I think the Japanese were trying to spell Chris with his name. Or Kravis, or Kevin, but yeah, Clavis. Okay, so next up we have Marcel, the girly-looking green one. We have Randy, who's... And we have Zephel, I think he's supposed to be Zahir or Zephel, which is a term for the wind, so the green. And Randy, if you can see what Randy is the patron of. At least Randy's name is spelled coherently. He's the wind. Rosalia wind patron is Randy, and Zephel is the patron of steel. I thought. Okay. And and Marcel, the little green kid, talking there. So Hell's the white-haired one, and Randy was the red-haired one. Okay, so now we have this guy's name sound Lumiale. I think it's probably Lucas or Lamarcus. Well, no, his name's Lumiale, and he's the one in the light blue with the white. Okay, the one with the cap on is called Luva, and just does not make any sense at all, his name. I've seen him spelled Leviathan or Leveros as well, so, and he's the patron of land. He's patron of land, though. And the other one, the girly-looking one with the red hair highlights, is Oliver, and he's the patron of Guardian of Dreams. Okay, next up, the guy with the scar is Victor. This is Claven, as I saw his name, the purple-haired guy. Again, he looks like a girl. So there's a very feminist art going. I think his name should actually be Cecil or something. And then the girl is Timuka, as far as... This is going off Google Translate, but yeah. Obviously, the Japanese really do need to work on some of their naming. Finally, there's the fortune teller called Mel, who we'll see in a bit, and the mysterious stranger. Oh, and there's also the research advisor, Ernst. Okay, so there's not actually going to be gameplay, this is just the tutorial video, so hence why I'm going to get all the sort of introductions done now, just to sort of chat a bit about the game, seeing as if you're watching this, you're wondering probably what's going the hell on right now. You've just seen a load of characters talking and chatting. They're obviously all complaining about the new Queen candidates and what they thought of them. But it's okay, because you then have to start dating them and getting them to win over. the advisor acts as some sort of guide throughout the game. So, and this opening section, this is the pre-first day. So basically, she takes you around and gives you a tour on everything. So this is Victor in the War Council room, I believe. Interestingly, I've played quite a while into it, and I've not yet been able to access this building. It's still locked off, so I need to play a few more days into it. I was really hoping this game would be unplayable, in which case I would have done a quick video and redrawn. Unfortunately, it's just about playable, and I can just about work out what's going on. I have some understanding of Japanese, so this is Sleven. He's... So Victor, these are the instructors, and Victor is he's basically the main instructor. This is like I think he's the war instructor, basically. This guy is the sort of, the sensibility. I think he's sort of homeland advisor. And the last, Timuka, is the quality. Oh, she teaches you how to be a princess or whatever else they teach little girls in this place. But your main characters are supposed to be 17, I should point out. But they do all look like they're in their teens or younger, which is a slightly alarming aspect of Japanese society. Although these characters all seem to appear across the series and gradually get older as the series goes on. So I think she's teaching you qualities of how to rule. So there's the 3 instructors. So Timuka, Ceylan is his correct English pronunciation, but I think it's supposed to be Cecil, and Victor, which fortunately is spelt Victor. Okay, this is Ernst. This is the research guy. He also appears to be some sort of Colosseum or something. I think he's the one, because supposedly you're supposed to become the Queen of Beasts or something, so you rule all the holy monsters or something with this one. Yeah, supposedly they actually rule different kingdoms, so yeah, there's a slight sci-fi element here, but basically we're trying to befriend all the happy cute monsters such as that 2-eared wolf thing you saw at the start. Trying to explain this game is like me going crazy. Interesting, you can actually get your rivals to fight amongst each other because you have to compete with your rival to impress the most guys. So you can basically, you can actually use the fortune teller to cast love spells on them, or you can also chat with the various guardians once your rank is high enough with them to scupper the attempts of her progress. So basically whoever wins, gets the most votes at the end, gets to be queen. There is nothing nasty in this game, it's all brightly coloured, lovely looking sprites, everything's very happy and cheery regardless. Now this is Mel the Fortune Teller, again another character with a sane name. But now by all accounts this is practically identical to the first game, except there's just a few extra characters. The first game appears to have a partial English translation. Quite why anyone would want to play this in English, I'm not sure. Okay, that's the mysterious merchant. I love the look of horror on the advisor's face after he's been. She's asking who was he, and she has no idea. Just a new resident in the town. Basically, he's a mysterious merchant. I'm not sure what it is, but in the manual it indicates he sells you equipment. But he does not appear in the game normally, at least as far as I've gotten. So finally, she's just taking you a quick location. Now the reason for the park and the reason for the lake in the corner there are basically their visit locations where you get to chat to the guardians and try and reminisce. Okay, she's just going to give you a quick rundown on the bedroom, and that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Yes, the bedroom. Don't worry, there's no things hanky-panky or anything like that. You can, however, chat to them in the guardians in your room if you don't want to go outside, because eventually they come to you and have what's described as a very tame date. And she's just giving me the rundown. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for now. And yes, there will be another video coming up shortly with more extensive gameplay. I'm actually probably going to try and see if I can play through this game all the way and see whether I can become queen or fail miserably. So we will find out. But yes, this is our next review. And by all means, if you haven't already, please do check out the Randomised Gaming blog. And there'll be a link down at the bottom of this video if you fancy a quick look at it.